You notice it in quiet moments. Someone fades from your life, and nothing pulls at you. No ache, no longing, just absence. You remember them, but your body doesn't reach for them anymore. And a small question forms, almost guiltily. What does it say about me if I don't miss people now? At first, it feels like relief, less emotional noise, fewer emotional obligations, no restless checking of your phone. But slowly, something else creeps in. You start wondering if you've become colder, detached, less human than you used to be. You notice it in everyday moments. An old friend moves away. You wish them well, and then nothing follows. A relationship ends. You process it intellectually, but your chest stays quiet. You don't replay conversations anymore. You don't fantasize about reconnecting. You don't feel the pull. And because society equates missing people with love, you start questioning your capacity to care. You tell yourself stories. Maybe I'm emotionally numb. Maybe I shut down. Maybe something broke in me. But the deeper confusion is this. You used to miss people. You remember being younger, when separation felt sharp, when distance created longing, when absence felt heavy. So what changed? This pattern quietly shapes your identity. You begin choosing independence over closeness. You keep relationships lighter. You invest more in routines than people. Not because you don't value connection, but because connection no longer pulls on you the same way. And here's the part no one tells you. This isn't indifference. It's a psychological shift. One your brain learned slowly without asking your permission. You are not broken, and you are not heartless. What you're experiencing is not the absence of attachment, it's the transformation of it. Your brain adapted, not because it wanted less love, but because it learned a different way to stay regulated. This pattern often emerges in people who are perceptive, self-aware, and emotionally intelligent. People who learned early how to self-contain, how to process internally, how to rely on stability rather than emotional intensity. Missing people is not proof of love. It's proof of dependence on emotional proximity. And your brain learned something else. It learned how to feel safe without needing emotional presence. To understand this, you have to look at how the brain handles attachment. Early in life, connection is regulated externally. Your nervous system calms when someone is near, when they respond, when they stay. Missing someone is the brain's alarm system. It says a regulating figure is gone. But over time, the brain can internalize that regulation. Think of it like this. At first, your phone needs a charger plugged into the wall. Later, it has a battery. The charger is still useful, but it's no longer required to function. When you develop strong internal regulation through self-reflection, emotional literacy, or repeated emotional stress, your nervous system stops depending on proximity for safety. Neuroscientifically, this involves the prefrontal cortex taking over roles once handled by relational cues. You don't lose attachment, you internalize it. This is why you can care deeply, yet not feel pulled when someone leaves. The brain is no longer using longing as a regulatory signal. And here's the quiet truth. Missing people is not always about love. Often, it's about nervous system imbalance. When the system is stable, there is less longing. This isn't about forcing yourself to feel something again. It's about understanding how to relate differently, without numbing, without guilt. Here are 4 psychologically grounded principles. What to do. Notice when you equate intensity with depth. Why it works. The brain often confuses emotional arousal with connection, but attachment can exist without activation. Real-life example. You can feel close to someone without thinking about them constantly. That's not absence, it's security. What to do? Observe what calms you when you're overwhelmed. Why it works. Your brain has likely shifted from external regulation to internal or environmental regulation. Real-life example. You unwind through routines, solitude, or creative focus, not through calling someone. That's adaptation, not avoidance. What to do? Stop testing yourself for longing. Why it works. The brain resists forced emotional states. Pressure creates shutdown, not connection. Real-life example. You can enjoy time with someone without needing separation to feel attachment. Presence replaces longing. What to do? Share internal states, not just stories. Why it works. Attachment activates through emotional exposure, not through proximity alone. Real-life example. Saying "I've been tired lately" creates more connection than recounting events. Here's the mental model to remember. Missing people is a signal, not a measurement. It signals how your nervous system seeks balance. When the system relies on others, absence creates longing. When the system holds itself, absence creates neutrality. Neither is superior, they are just different operating modes. You didn't lose your ability to connect. You upgraded how connection lives inside you. So if you don't miss people the way you used to, pause before judging that silence. It may not be emptiness. It may be integration. A system that no longer panics when something ends. A mind that doesn't confuse distance with danger. A self that learned how to stay whole alone. And maybe the real question isn't why don't I miss people anymore, but what kind of connection am I ready for now when I no longer need longing to feel alive?